is quarantine day 2, and I have been sitting on my butt an awful lot. So I decided to go through some of the stretches that I do in a normal day. I own a lot of fish. I also do a fair amount of dance-oriented exercise. So this is just going to be a little warm-up, and we'll see. It's just good to get some movement into your day. I think, not that I do it every day, most of the time I just sit on my butt over there on the couch or cuddle the cats in the basement or talk to my fish, but I'm getting in some movement today because I haven't in about 3 days done any exercise, mainly because it's been more difficult to breathe, but doing a little better on that front now, so we're gonna do some stretches. Firstly, I just like to flop over. I think it's good just to sometimes flop over and rock back and forth a little bit. It gets some movement into your hips and lower back, which can get really tight when you're just sitting around a lot. So just do a little flop. Just a total flop. I'm not a yoga teacher, not a yoga instructor. Like I said, I just dance. So, sometimes I find it really good and refreshing to just have a good flop. And it feels so good for my lower back. Next, a good plank. Planking is good for the core. And then all the way down, hover, and then through into this stretch, which they call a cobra. And the trick with the cobra is to squeeze your butt together. Back up into this thing. Plank. Back. The idea is just to get movement into your lower back. Plank. Hold. And hover low. And back up. What is it? From a plank, you can rotate out into a side plank, and up, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down. And hover low, and through, and back. The whole thing with rocking back into a different pose is that it's an inverse stretch to the one you do. So if you go into a cobra, it folds your back like this. If you go into a child's pose, you fold your spine like that. So you always want to try to do an inverse every time you do a stretch. You don't watch actual exercise people to get information on that. Klaus isn't the sharpest beta, so he has some trouble when the worms fall down. Sometimes he can have trouble finding them, but that's okay. I'm wondering if my betas are too chunky. Can betas be overweight? I'm sure they can. Maybe I should do more food break days. They used to get 1 day a week, and then I kind of stopped that. New boy is a smart boy. Like I said, we've only had him for a few days, and he's already figured out that the food is to stick you. So there we go. And now he gets the worms. Oh, there's no worms on that. There we go. Oh, that's too many worms. You know what? Everyone is having a fast day tomorrow because I have been overfeeding you. It's down. Worms, they sink. They sink. Oh, it looks like they all landed on the leaf. See, he's a very kind of thick beta. I think he's related to Matthias. I think they're half brothers. So they're very kind of like stocky built. So that's why I don't really worry about overfeeding these two that much, because they're very, very just kind of like chunky and thick built. People keep asking if Matthias has giant genes. As far as I know, he doesn't. Who's a pretty boy? Look at that lovely fin display. Franz, you know that worms sink to the bottom. We've been over this before. Some of your foods float and some of your foods don't. We've had this conversation. Franz has a tendency to look in the wrong direction for his food. Like, sometimes he'll look up and sometimes he'll look down, and he just like, he never knows quite the best direction to look for. There we go. No, no, honey, honey. You were right. They're at the bottom. There we go. Yeah, that's right. They sunk. That's where your worms are. That's where your worms are. So now it's time for me to go and sweep up the cat room and change the litter. So I do that every 2 days. I sweep up the cat room. Every 2 days, sweep, Swiffer, and then on to whatever I want to do next. So one thing I do sometimes to pass the time is I get on a page called Morph Market. And I am eventually going to buy a ball python at some point in time. But for now, I just like to look at cute pythons. So we're just going to browse the latest pythons and see what's available and what I can afford. Now, I tend to like the light color ball pythons. So I know at some point in time, the perfect python will come along at the right time for the right price, and it will be mine. So there are a couple of criteria. One, I do like the light color morphs, or then like the darker color morphs. And my other requirement is that it has to be eating, frozen. Like, I don't want to feed live food. That's just not something I'm going to do. So my budget is under 300, definitely under, or preferably under 250. And this guy's cute. So he's eating frozen thawed rat, so that's okay. As long as it's unfrozen thawed, that's okay. Aww, he's hiding. Look, you can see his little head down there. He's actually really cute. Pewter kingpin ball python. That's a cute one. I'm going to put that one on my wish list. I'm keeping a wish list just so I know what I like. See, this one is eating live mouse. And once a ball python, I've heard, is like eating a particular food, it's kind of set in that food. And like it's difficult to get them to switch. Here we go, albino pinstripe python, live mouse. See, like I got a message about one python and it's like he's got a strong feeding response. I think it'll be okay, but I don't want to risk it not being okay because I don't want to end up with this python that I have to feed live foods because I just like couldn't stomach that. I couldn't do that. Live bloodworms is one thing, a live mouse is something entirely different. So this one is unfrozen thawed mouse. Oh, representative photo, exact animals not shown. No, I want to know the exact animal that I'm getting. Like, I understand to a certain extent it doesn't matter, but I want to know exactly what my python is going to look like. See, there's lots of really pretty ones that are way out of my budget. And that's okay. I'm not a breeder. I understand that breeders will pay $3,000 for a good quality, breeding quality python, but that's not me. He's pretty cute. More pythons! God, these are stunning! Look at that one. Wow. If I had $1,000, but I don't. Oh, and I'm not sure it's been $1,000 anyways. It seems like, I mean, I understand it's a fair price to pay for like that quality of reptile, but for me, I just like, I could not spend $1,000 on a snake, even if I had the money. It just seems like an unreasonable amount of money. It's like, it seems like an unreasonable amount of money for you to spend on something that's just going to be a pet. Let's see, pastel clown ball python. That's a nice one. Pre-killed rat. That's a little different than frozen thawed. Because like pre-killed means that the electric signals in the cells can stay active for something like up to 48 hours. So pre-killed is not the same as frozen. Pre-killed, I think, means freshly killed. If I'm wrong, comment below. Whereas frozen thawed, it's been dead for a much longer amount of time, so the electric signals between the cells aren't functioning anymore.